Hello and welcome to the All Rookie Podcast. Today is June 27th, 2025, and I'm your host, William Harris, aka William is Bill. Back with you today on another great episode of the All Rookie Podcast, and it's a big one, the 2025 NBA Draft Recap. The draft came, it went, it was great, we loved it, it was interesting. I'll definitely say that. So let's do a little recap, give some teams some grades. Let's go ahead and do all the teams. Let's do all of them. Now split it down east west. Let's just get straight to it like it's nothing to it. All right. 28 teams made selections. Two teams had no picks. We'll get to them when we get to them. But first, let's start off with the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks had two picks in this draft before it started, but they ended up making a trade, and they only ended up with the 23rd pick in the draft. But they're also getting the first round unprotected pick from next year, which makes them getting a haul, let's say. I don't know how I wanted to word that, but they got a haul for giving up the 13th pick. And now they still had the 23rd pick, but next year is when they're going to truly flourish because that pick should be very good. Now, with the 23rd pick, they selected Asa Newell, the power forward from Georgia. I was really high on, had him ranked in my top 10, and to get him 23rd, that's great. That's why the Hawks got an A. But the reason why it's not an A plus is because why did you take that position? You know, you didn't really need a big like Asa Newell because he's kind of a four. You have Porzingis, you have Jalen Johnson, you have Onyeka Okongwu. So he's in a crowded situation, but you did take the best talent on the board. So I cannot hate them for that. Who knows if Onyeka could be out the door? But I love the move for the Hawks. They get an A in my book, especially we're getting that first round pick for next year. Next on my list is the Celtics. Celtics had pick 28, 46, and 57. And in my opinion, they could have did a lot more with the first round pick. At 28, there was still a lot of talent on the board, and you take Hugo Gonzalez. A lot of players, a lot of people are high on him. For me, not so much. I had him barely draftable because he's got talent, but to be a first round pick, you should be a sure thing. Hugo Gonzalez is not going to come in and start for the Celtics. He's not going to play big minutes for the Celtics. You know, he still needs to develop. And I'm just not sure on him. His shot's not truly there. The Celtics are in kind of a weird situation. They traded out some veterans, and we don't know what's going to happen with Jason Tatum out of the lineup for this year. But at 28, I don't know. You had guys like Liam McNeely on the board, who I'm not high on, but I was higher on than Hugo Gonzalez, Rasheer Fleming. That's the pick they definitely should have made. That would have been tremendous for them. Noah Penda, and they went with Hugo Gonzalez. So for me, that was not a wise choice, or they could have moved back and possibly took him. I love the second pick for the Celtics. They chose Amari Williams, big man from Kentucky, and I had a first round grade on him. So that makes up for that trade, that pick, but they signed him to a two-way contract. So he's not going to play much this year either. They also selected Max Shulga at 57, and he's just there for shooting, really. And because Drew Holiday's gone, but I very much so doubt that Shugla will play much in his first season or two. We will see JD Davison has been excellent for them in the G League and can't sniff the court. So we'll see what happens. But that was a D for me for the Celtics, although they did get Amari Williams. Was that too rough? I don't know. Was that too hard on there? Anyway, next up with Brooklyn Nets, I give the Nets a C. A lot of people hating on the Nets draft. They have 5 first round picks. So, I mean, I've seen people give them D, F. I have to give them a C because they did take some talent. The talent's just all over the place. You know, their last pick was Danny Wolf at 27. To me, he was their second best selection. If you took him at 19, I would have been happy. So it's a great selection in Danny Wolf. Very talented big, can do a lot of things, should be able to learn on the fly in Brooklyn, especially if Day'Ron Sharpe is not back or if Nick Claxton's not back. I like Igor Dimmon. I'm not as appalled as everyone else that he was selected 8th. I had him ranked 11th. So if he's the vision you want for your team, I mean, he's a huge one, two, or three. The shooting's not there, but there's talent in Igor Demon. But eight at eight, there were still some players on the board you could have taken. And so no one knows what's going on with Cam Thomas because they selected three basically point guards. So it was a weird direction they went in, taking Nolan Traore and Ben Saraf also. And so it was just no need to take those. And having 5 first round picks, you should have traded up. Maybe take 8 and 19, but you probably could have traded 27, 26, 22 and got a top 10 pick, another top 10 pick or something like that. I don't know. They should have did more movement or traded a pick this year for a pick next year. You're unlikely to use 5 picks ever. It's even more unlikely when three of them play the same position and you have a good point guard on your team already. So the Nets were all over the place. They did get talent, but I would have passed on Traore and Sarah and went a different direction. All right, next up we have the Hornets. I give the Hornets a B minus. They selected the safe selection with Con Knipple at 4, a safe selection with Liam McNeely at 29, a safe selection at Sion James at 33, and then Ryan Kalkbrenner at 34. I love Ryan Kalkbrenner at 34. I had him ranked at 23rd. I love Sion James actually as well. I had him ranked 31st, but he's a excellent guy that's going to help a team win in a great role. So he's a great role player, is what Sion James should be. Now, Liam McNeely, hit or miss. He could be really good. I didn't see a first round pick, in my opinion, and I don't see how he's going to contribute to winning anytime in the near future for the Hornets. He's pretty buried on the depth chart, but he's going to have to improve in shooting. And then Conker Nipple, very safe. You passed over Ace Bailey, passed over Trey Johnson, passed over Jeremiah Fears, passed over a lot of Kamal Malua, passed over a lot of talent to get Conker Nipple. So, I mean, he better be more than a role player. That's all I can say. Because essentially, you could have got, say, a Kamal Malua at 4 and then Liam McNeely at 29. Then you have a big and a three. So they took two threes, two small forwards that I I don't know. It could have been better, y'all. But they definitely made up for it in the second round with Sion and Ryan Cockburn. And it's weird how they had the 33rd and 34th pick. How do you decide which guy gets drafted first? I don't know, but I think Ryan Cockburn is their second best player they drafted, even though he was their fourth player drafted. But he has the opportunity to come in and start or get heavy minutes for the Hornets this year. So B minus. For the Bulls, I have a C plus. A lot of people are giving the Bulls a high grade. I give them a C plus because they got Noah Asingwe. To me, I had him as a late first round pick. They got him at 12. He is not a sure thing by far. He could come in and help this team, but he's not a sure thing. So what is Chicago aiming to do? I'm not exactly sure. But they did get Lachlan Ulbrich at 55, and I had him ranked 41st. So I do like that. That was a value, but how much will he play being the 55th pick? And that's another big. So after taking Noah Asingwe at 12, you had Derek Queen was on the board. Could have took him. That would have been a much better pick. Carter Bryant was on the board, much better pick. Thomas Sorbo was on the board, much better pick. Even if they took Hanson Yang, that would have been a much better pick. So for me, I cannot be super high on this pick. We will see what Noah Asingwe does. He could turn it around, but I don't see it. We will see what happens. Next, we have the Cavaliers. I give the Cavs a B. The Cavs selected Tyrese Proctor at 49 and Silo Niang at 58. And Tyrese Proctor is a great selection at 49. I think I had him ranked 49. So, and they need a backup point guard that's bigger. He can shoot the ball well. I did not like how they selected a draft and stash guy, Silo Niang. I was not high on him at all. He has a very slow release on his shot. He has great size, but he's raw and unpolished. And I mean, it's being nitpicky, but you could have did something better with that 58th pick or just traded away for a pick next year. Why even take that pick? I'm not sure. Next up, we have the Mavs. Of course, do we even need to talk about the Mavs? That's an A plus. They got Cooper Flag. He fell into their lap. He's going to help them rebuild right away. Well, I don't know if you would even say rebuild. It's just they need Kyrie to come back and they could compete in a year or two. Hopefully, AD won't be. Yeah. Okay. You know what I mean. Next on the list, the Nuggets. They did not have a draft selection. And with a lot of teams having picks, they could have traded up and got a pick with cash considerations or anything like that, but they stood pat. Interesting decision. No pick. But they do have the selection they had last year, Deron Holmes, who did not play his whole rookie season. So he's basically their rookie this year. Next up, the Pistons. I have to give the Pistons a B plus, getting Chaz Lanier at 37. Really high on Chaz Lanier's game. I had him ranked 27th. So very talented young shooting guard. I just wonder how he's going to get minutes on his team. They got Jaden Ivey. They got a lot of young players. Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway, Asar Thompson. They're kind of loaded in the guard, small forward area. But Chaz Lanier was the best talent they could have taken at that point, so I'm high on it. Like I said, B plus, but it's just a matter of position. Was that the position you needed to go to? You really need a power forward, I think. But I mean, they did great this year in getting to the playoffs, and they're gonna have another solid year. I just don't know if Chaz is gonna help them this year, but very high on the talent. And if you're looking at a lot of teams, they're playing a lot of guards this year, the winning team. So that's probably what they were thinking. Get as many good guards as you can, and it won't hurt. Next on the list, Alex Tuhey and Will Richard for the Golden State Warriors. For the Warriors, I have to give that a D. Sorry, I was not that high on Tuhey. I had him undrafted. Real Richard, not even ranked. Uh, Alex Tuhey, he can put the ball on the floor. He's a good shooter, 6'9", but he's solid. I don't see much of special in him. So, I mean, going to the Warriors is the right spot because they can bring it out of you possibly. But yeah, a lot of people were high on the Warriors draft. They traded down. They had pick 41, traded down for two guys that probably will not contribute. So next time, hold on to that pick, Golden State. You didn't need two guys that won't play when you could have had a guy that possibly would have hit the court. Next on the list, the Rockets, no picks because they traded for Kevin Durant, so you can't hate on that. It's weird seeing some places are giving teams grades that did not have a pick. I mean, that's just stupid. All right, next, the Pacers, the runner-ups for the championship. I give them a B minus, selecting Cam Jones at 38 and Talon Peter at 54. Cam Jones, I really liked his tape, but I could see him also going undrafted. But they were high enough on him to think he was the best point guard on the board at the time to help fill in for Tyrese Halliburton. Now, I don't know if you ever want to just take a player because of need, but there was some good prospects still on the board, and they took Cam Jones. So other people are higher on him than me. Clearly, Indiana is. They think he can come in and fit the role. But they do have Nembhard and TJ McConnell. So I don't know if they necessarily needed a point guard, but the Pacers are. I mean, I would have went with a center probably, or just a better point guard than Cam Jones. So I can't be too critical. That's what they felt they liked as the best prospect. But taking Talon Peter that was just terrible. No one has him ranked anywhere. He was at the Division II college. I didn't even scout him. That's how off the radar he was. And I scouted Division II players, and he wasn't one of them. So they're gonna think that shooting can translate. We'll see. He'll be in the G League. He probably will never see the floor. So, I mean, but it's pick 54. But still, this draft was 70 deep. You can't just pick guys just to pick guys. I mean, even at 54, 57, 59, I don't care. Take the best player available and they might crack your rotation. Next on the list, The Clippers, they're getting a lot of flack for their draft. I give them an A minus. Really good draft. Selecting Giannis Niederhauser at 30 and Kobe Sanders at 50. Now, Yannick was really high on my list. He was 22nd, I believe. He could be a Jarrett Allen type of player. A lot of players, people are saying, oh, he's just um, the tall guy from the center from the Lakers. I can't even think of his name right now. But I think he's more Jarrett Allen in the future. And to get him at 30, that's what you're gonna get better than that at 30. That's a good selection. And by the way, the center for the Lakers was top 10 pick. So you're getting Yannick at 30, great selection. Kobe Sanders, really high on. I had him ranked in the 30s and really good guard, plays at his own pace. I love his game. And I think that they have they're loaded. I mean, the Clippers have a lot of veterans, and it's going to be hard to get a young rookie in that rotation. But I would love to see it. I don't know when they're going to rebuild. If Kawhi obviously misses time, maybe Kobe can get in there. But being drafted at 50 is unlikely that he will get playing time. But I'm really high on the talent. I just hope he doesn't get lost in the shuffle. But the Clippers, A minus. Now next, the Lakers. The Lakers get an A plus. To get Adu Thero at 36 when I had him ranked 16th, that's incredible. I mean, this guy is full of athleticism, defense, can jump out the gym, can guard the best man on your team at small forward. Great selection. Everyone wanted the Lakers to select a center, but if they didn't see a center they were at like 45 and made up to 36. They didn't see a center that they felt was good enough. You're taking a player that's a first round talent skill wise. He just needs to, if he can shoot threes, I mean, he could be an all-star in the NBA. That's how good Adu Thero is, or close to an all-star. So he can do it all. I'm very high on him. No idea why he fell to 36 in the draft. You think of a guy like Herb Jones, known for his defense. He went in the second round, and that was a steal for them that year he came out. So you have a Adu Thero who can do even more offensively. He just has to work on the shot. At 36, that's crazy. So great selection by the Lakers. And they had no picks. They bought a pick at 45, then traded up to get a guy that I think will definitely contribute to their team because, when they have Luka and Austin Reeves, the defense was lacking. So Adu was there to help them out with that. Next on the list, the Memphis Grizzlies. I gave the Grizzlies a B minus. They're getting killed for their picks. But Cedric Coward at 11, Javon Small at 48, and Jemai Mashak at 59, Mr. Irrelevant. I'm not mad at the players. The way they got the players was not great, because they traded up to get number 11. They had to give up a first round pick to do that. They feel they have the picks to do it, so why not? But I don't know if you needed to do that. But if they think Cedric Coward is going to be a small all-star type shooting guard, then it's worth it. We just don't know yet. I'm high on Cedric Coward. I think he is really good, but he still has a lot to prove. He didn't play that much his last year in college. But he will come in and should be able to fit that role as starting shooting guard for the team. And we'll see what happens. And I do like Javon Small as well. I think I had him almost being drafted. And it's just because this draft is loaded. But very fast point guard, great handle, really good shooter, quick hands, and he's a pro player. So he just needed to improve his game slightly in all areas, and he could be a star. So to go to the Grizzlies and play behind Ja, I think that's going to be great for Javon Small. And he honestly could win that backup point guard role. He's really, really good. Next on the list, we have the Miami Heat, who I have to give an A plus. Kasper Jakachonis fell into their lap at 20. That was their only selection. A lot of people were saying they wanted Walter Clayton, and then they were sniped on him. But really, Kasper's is a better prospect than Walter Clayton, as far as my rankings were. Now, I love them both, but I had Kasper's ranked higher, and I think he can come in and be a great fit for the Heat right away. It was a no-brainer. Great selection, Miami. Milwaukee Bucks were next on the list. They only had pick 47, and they nailed it getting Bogoja Markovic, but they're gonna stash him and send him back overseas. So I don't like that. They picked the right player, they got the right talent, but having him stay overseas, I hate that. So the Bucks are not gonna be any different. I mean, unless they nail it in free agency. But I give them a B because they got a right player, but maybe they should have done more to get a player that can contribute. Minnesota's next. I give the T-Wolves a B minus. They got Jean Beringer at 17 and Rocco Zikarsky at 45. Basically two centers. Um, a lot of people were high on Jean Beringer at 17. I was lower on him. I thought he was a late first round pick and he's a prospect. So I guess he can work with Rudy Gobert. So they have the French connection. He can coach him up because John is not ready yet. But I guess that's a good spot for him. I don't know. The talent's just not there. For me, he's a rim runner, shot blocker. I guess like Rudy Gobert. I guess they plan on grooming another Rudy Gobert. And then Rocco Zikarsky, huge big man from Australia. He's going to be a prospect as well that may not play anywhere in the near future, but he's really good. I wish he would have went to a different team. Why didn't Minnesota go for a different type of player? I don't know, but that's why I have to give them a B minus. They got two solid players at good spots, but probably should have went a different position at pick 2. All right, next on the list, the Pelicans. They selected Jeremiah Fears at 7, Derek Queen at 13, and Micah Peavy at 40. Now, you can't be too mad at that. I love Jeremiah Fears, my 4th ranked prospect. Derek Queen's was my 13th ranked prospect, but the only issue is they gave up a first round unprotected pick next year that should be a very high pick to get Derek Queen. So Derek Queen has to work out. Some people have compared him to Alperen Sengun. He has to be Alperen Sengun. No, but I hope he works out. He has to be something special for this team, though, because they gave up a lot to get him. So, Fears, will he be starting this year? Because DeJounte may miss a little bit, but what happens when DeJounte comes back? Where's Fears going? Is he just going to be on the bench? I don't know. So, New Orleans has to decide the direction they're going in, but I give them a C plus because they got the talent, but they got it in a not so great way, giving up that unprotected first. And then is Derek going to play with Zion? Is Fears going to play with DeJounte? It's kind of, you know, incomplete. We're going to have to see what they continue to do. And then they got Michael Peavy at 40. I had Michael Peavy ranked 73rd, kind of slow, not blowing by anyone. He did shoot 40% from 3, though, so that's why they drafted him. He's 6'7". It's not a bad pick. I wouldn't have taken him at 40, though. It could have probably traded down and got something better than that. Next on the list, the Knicks, the New York Knicks. I give them a D. Sorry, guys. Mohamed Diawara at 51, and they had the 50th pick, and they traded down to 51. But Mohamed, 6'8", 20-year-old, good size and movement, but very basic and elementary type moves to get to the basket. He's basically a potential guy. I doubt he'll see the floor for the Knicks. There are players that they could have selected that will see the floor for the Knicks. So that's why I had to give him a D. Sorry, New York. Next on the list, the Thunder. I give the Thunder an A minus because they got Thomas Sorber at 15. That's a steal. But they took Brooks Barnheiser at 44, which was not a good selection. I don't know why they did that. I really can't tell you why. But Brooks is 6'6", put up great numbers in college, but he goes up weak in the paint, has trouble against double teams and trouble in traffic. Not really a good jump shot shooter. Not really a good three-point shooter. 27% from 3. He has a slow shot, not athletic, just a good solid college player. And, I just had him going undrafted, and then they took him at 44. There were so many other guys that could have helped your team at 44, and he's not like an international player you're going to stash. He's an American. So I don't understand that one, but they see something in Brooks that I don't. but the Thomas Sorba pick was a home run. Next, the Magic. I give the Magic a B minus, taking Jace Richardson at 25 and Noah Penda at 32. They had to assume Jace was the last point guard that they were comfortable with on the board, so they went ahead and took him. A lot of people were higher on Jace. I had him around this range. I don't think he's going to do much for your team. He may fill a Cole Anthony role who departed, but he does remind me of a little Mike Conley, but not everyone's Mike Conley. So just because you played that in college doesn't mean it's going to work in the NBA. They do have Suggs, so it's just a backup point guard at 25. But they did trade up to get Noah Penda at 32. I wasn't high on Noah Penda, but if they think he can help the team, you got to get your guy. They traded 46 and 57 plus 2 second round picks in the future to move up 14 spots to select Noah Penda. I think that was a lot to give up, but if he's the guy that you think you need, oh, so be it. Like I said, it's easy to get second round picks these days. You can buy a second round pick like the Lakers did. So if that's what they feel is their guy, that's their guy. But I wasn't high on Noah Penda. Next are the 76ers. They had the third pick and the 35th pick. I give the Sixers an A. A lot of people are kind of down on the Sixers, but VJ Edgecombe, solid selection. I would have loved Ace Bailey. I don't know what Ace Bailey's problem is, but I would have taken him. But they selected VJ Edgecombe. He could work out. He could be a bust. I'm not sure. And it could be a tough situation in Philly because he's coming in at best the fourth option. Now, when you have a guy that's the number one option in college, and then you have to turn into a role player, that role you have needs to be elite because they might just need you for defense. They might just need you for 3-point shooting. You're not going to come in, and if all the team's healthy, Embiid, Paul George, Maxey, they're getting priority over you. So how will VJ come in and fit in that role? That's a big question mark. But as far as talent, they had to pick him if they weren't taking Ace Bailey. We'll see. Now, at 35, Johnny Broome, a lot of people were down on him. I think that's a really good selection. I'm high on Johnny Broome. I had him ranked around 35th. I don't see an issue with that selection. He can come in and play a backup power forward role, and he should be able to earn a starting power forward role if he continues to get better every year. Next on the list, the Phoenix Suns, I give them an A. Kama Malawak at 10, Rasheer Fleming at 31, and Kobe Brea at 41. Three really good talents, and everyone was surprised Malawak fell to them at 10. I mean, I have no problem with that selection. It's weird that they traded for Mark Williams, though, giving up the 29th pick and a first round next year. But they're going to have two bigs for sure, probably trade Nick Richards. They will be competing for minutes. I don't know why you want a center to play 24 minutes and both play 24 minutes. Is one going to play 30 minutes, another 14 minutes? If so, your value in the draft selection is skewed. You know what I mean? That's not a great thought process. But in the second round, they traded up to get Rasheer Fleming, home run selection. He should have been a top 20 pick for sure. Should come in and play power forward for them. I wouldn't mind if he started right away. That's how good Rasheer Fleming is. They might work him in easy, but great selection at 31. He can do a lot of things. Like I said, he was my 7th ranked prospect. So Rasheer Fleming at 31, home run. And Kobe Brea, shooter. He's going to come in and shoot the lights out. He reminded me of Klay Thompson, current day Klay Thompson, who is not fast or athletic anymore, but can shoot the lights out still, fill a role. We'll see if he'll get an opportunity at minutes. It might take a while. Next, the Blazers. I give them a B plus. People hated on the Blazers selecting Yang Hansen. Well, Hansen Yang is what I know him as. I don't know why his name is changing now, but Hansen is worth the risk at 16. The players on the board after him, it's not like they passed on all-stars. So they swung for a home run with Hansen Yang. And if he can be an excellent center, which he has a lot of skill, you could have something there. So, I mean, maybe trade down and get more, but to take that swing, that's what you have to do in the NBA. Take the swing. If someone took Jokic at 16 in that year, they would have been laughed off the stadium. He went in the 40s. So I had Hansen Yang ranked 24th. So he was a first round prospect, in my opinion. It's not like he was an undrafted guy they just selected to get some fame and fans from China. Hanson Yang is a really good player, and we'll see how it translates to the NBA. Next on the list, the Kings. I give them an A. I've seen people giving them C's and D's. I don't know what's going on. But Nick Clifford, like ESPN gave the Kings a C. I don't understand that. But Nick Clifford at 24, he was like my 19th prospect. And then Maxime Renard, he was my 33rd prospect, got him at 42. So they got two really good players at great value. You can't be mad at that. That's an A. Now, how will they come in and contribute? I'm not sure. Um, they both could possibly be backups, probably will be, until the team figures out a direction, because they have DeRozan. Are they going to keep him, move on? I don't know. But we'll see. But still, to get that talent, they did trade a first to get back in it, but it could be a late first to get Nick Clifford. We will see. But I'm good with it. I'm good with it. A for the Kings. Next, the Spurs, A plus. How could you hate on it? Dylan Harper at 2, Carter Bryant at 14. I mean, two great picks. They didn't even need the 14th pick. They could have traded that away, but Carter Bryant fell in their lap. Dylan Harper, all-star potential. Carter Bryant, great shooting guard potential. I think the Bulls should have picked him, but it is what it is. The Spurs get richer. Next on the list, the Raptors. I give them a D, like dog, a D. Colin Murray Bulls, my 19th prospect, selected at 9. Elijah Martin, undrafted in my opinion, selected at 39. There was just much more talent on the board in both spots. So I think they reached. I don't know how either of them are going to help them this year. Elijah could be a solid backup, but there were other solid backups out there that were uh, in range for them to pick at 39. And yeah, Colin Murray Boys, a lot of people thought they would take come on, Malowach, but at 9, they didn't go that route. They're going with the undersized Colin Murray Bulls. We will see what happens, but I think that was a risk. Next, the Jazz, I give them an A. They took Ace Bailey. They didn't know if he wanted to come there or not. They still don't know whether he wants to come there or not, but they took him at 5, and he's my third ranked prospect. You went ahead and took the talent. You don't want to come, what you going to do? Not play for 4 years because you don't want to be there? Of course he's going to come to your team. The Hornets should have selected him. The 76ers should have selected him. Like, once you're drafted, you have to come there and play, or you just sit out. And they don't have to do anything because the Jazz are fine with losing again next year and getting another top pick. So don't come. Test the Jazz and see what happens. Ace Bailey has to play for them. I saw a report that he will be there. Though he was just the best talent on the available at 5. So that's a steal. Walter Clayton at 18. I had him ranked around 18. Great point guard prospect. He can be Jamal Murray. Will it translate to the NBA? I think it can, but he's in a crowded backfield with Isaiah Collier and Keontae George. So that's the only thing I hate. And I mean, they still have Clarkson and Sexton. So they're loaded at guards. I don't know if Clayton will see the floor much the first year. He kind of deserves to, but I don't know how that team's going to play out. I know they're trying to trade Sexton, but it hasn't happened yet. And then they selected John Tonje at the pick 53. Really good value there. Should come in and fill a role. Dylan Brooks like player, minus the antics. And last but not least, the Washington Wizards had the 6th pick, 21st pick, and 43rd pick. In my opinion, they leave with one really good player. I didn't really like the other 2 picks, but I give them a B because Trey Johnson fell to them at 6. A lot of people were saying he could have went 3rd, 4th, or 5th, and they got him at 6. Of course, they wanted Ace Bailey. They thought they were going to get Ace Bailey, but they got Trey Johnson to come in and replace Jordan Poole's production as he's out of the door going to New Orleans. And, they selected Will Riley. Not high on him. I think I had him in the 40s. They got him at 21. I mean, it's a project. They didn't need the position. So I don't know. That's just not a great selection, in my opinion, at 21. Uh, what can I say? They should have went for a power forward. If they would have took Rasheed Fleming, that would have been excellent. And he went 10 picks later. So I didn't like the Will Riley pick. Jamir Watkins at 43. I'm not high on Jamir Watkins, but it's worth the risk. He did average 18 points and 6 boards at Florida State. Solid shooting guard, but will he play? I doubt it. So I give him a B because they did get Trey Johnson. I guess they're taking a swing with Will Riley. I'm not so sure on him like most other people may be, but it is what it is. So let's go over the list again of, I'm just going to say the teams that got an A. The Hawks, the Mavericks, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Heat, the Thunder, the Sixers, the Suns, the Kings, the Spurs, the Jazz. All got A's. Now, let's see who got the worst grades. D, the Warriors, the Celtics, the Knicks, and the Raptors. So those were the highs, those were the lows. Everything else is in between. How did you feel about this draft? How did your team do? Am I wrong? Am I wrong on a prospect? You love them and I gave you a D. Are you feeling down on your team? I give him an A and you're like, why did we take that guy? Let me know. Hit me up on the All Rookie Podcast. This was jam-packed full of stuff. But it was fun. The draft came and went. And I will the next part will be on the best undrafted players, and I will tell you where they signed. And a lot of these teams with bad grades, like the Knicks, they signed a couple good rookies. So that's gonna make their team better. It would make their grade better, but no, you don't get that. I'll just give you credit on the next episode. So until next time, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for listening and watching and subscribing and all that good stuff. Peace.